Hey guys, what's up? I'm Michael and I'm your mixing guy, and today I'm at the Electric Mojoland studio to get interviewed by Musixon. Well, usually I don't use a limiter while mixing, but there are some situations where a limiter can do the trick. For example, when it comes to drums. I always start with the overheads and with the room mics and try to capture the drum kit as a whole. And most of the times I don't use the close mics from the cymbals or the hi-hat. But some songs need that extra sizzle from the hi-hat to make it more locatable. And when it's properly recorded, cool, but if not, and if there's a lot of snare bleed, a limiter really can be your best friend. By just bringing down the threshold and the output gain of the limiter, you can reduce the snare hits, because they get compressed and the rest isn't. And by that you don't affect your overall snare sound that much when you bring up the hi-hat fader. Chris Lord-Alge said in an interview in 2015, I think, "I don't care about mono, this is 2015. This is not 1951 where we worried about mono." But yeah, to be fair, the music I'm working on is really organic kind of music, and it's the kind of music that's supposed to be heard on speakers or at least headphones. And yes, I use this little mono button over here once in a while, but if you're into something like electronic music or stuff like that, you should really check your mono compatibility, and you should take it more serious than I do. I always got like two types of headphones lying around on my mixing desk. On one hand, a really good one for mixing, like this AKG 701 on Audio-Technica over there, and I like to use them to check the recordings for clicks and pops and that stuff, because in my experience there's a higher chance of not missing anything if you listen to the tracks on headphones. And the other one is a really cheap one for like 30 bucks, I think, which I like to use for this consumer experience and to check once in a while what the usual listener is going to hear. But since I got this Audio Optimum MS6 speakers, I tend to use headphones more rarely than before. In the box, yes, that's a good one. So as you can see, I'm more like that old-fashioned kind of guy, and I literally like to get my hands on the mix. But yes, I'm aware of the fact that it's 2017, and I'm aware of the advantages of digital-only workflow. And when someone like Andrew Sheps admits that he mixes in the box, well, it can't be wrong, right? Well, yes and no, I think. It always depends. You have to consider someone like Andrew doesn't have to deal with some poorly recorded tracks from band's rehearsal room that have been recorded with a cheap interface with built-in pre's and a bunch of mixed mics. And when I have to deal with a track like this, I think that running it through an analog device can give it this extra analog grit and distortion and yeah, the overall analog sound, and it helps the tracks. But there are times when I mix completely in the box. For example, the last album I did was Coming Through in Waves for Texas musician Ray Wilson, and the album has been recorded at Wet Sky Studios in Amarillo, and Ron, the owner and engineer, did an awesome job on all the tracks. And I think he used his 5052 Shelford McPrees in his Neve console to record the whole album. And it sounded awesome, and it had this grit I like so much on the tracks. And since we had some serious time pressure, I decided to mix it completely in the box. And yeah, it kind of turned out to sound great, I hope. There are so many advices one could give, and probably even more one should take, but the most important thing to me is mindset. It's way more important than any trained skills, than knowledge and stuff like that. See, don't jump through hoops to get clients. Some A-list mixer once told me that he's getting jobs not because of his awesome skills, but because of his taste. And this is what it's all about when it comes to music. If you don't dig it, don't do it. And I think it's not bad to skip on a job. If you do what you love and do it the way you like it, and the artist feels good about it, then yeah, it's cool and it's maybe supposed to be that way, and you are supposed to work together. But if it does not feel right, yeah, maybe then it's not supposed to be, and then just don't do it.